Hello everyone, how's it going? Dr. Incompetent here, and let's do a complete beginner's guide to Sworn, shall we? Sworn is a game I've been playing a ton of recently because I've just been having so much fun with it, and I thought I would share what I've learned from my experience with the game and some comments that I've received on videos I've posted from other viewers who've been playing it, who've shared their wisdom, so that you can get into and enjoy this game, because I think it's fantastic. Now, there's a lot of parallels to be drawn between Sworn and Hades, and I'm becoming from that angle, which is I played Hades for many hours, beat it many times, and really enjoyed that game. And so there is something to be said if you're a player who enjoyed Hades, or maybe you bounced off of Hades. Either way, I think you would enjoy Sworn, and even if you didn't play Hades, I think you would enjoy Sworn. The thing that Sworn does is it takes the Hades formula, gameplay, sense of style, and yet it makes Hades more approachable. This is probably, in my opinion, an easier game, and the reason it's easier is also the reason it's more fun in a lot of ways, in the sense of filling that space between Hades and Hades 2 when that comes out in full release. I'm not saying that this is a better game than Hades, I'm just saying it's a great game in its own right. And the reason is because of the amount of upgrades that you can get. The meta progression, they really just pushed everything, giving you more characters, more weapons, more styles, customization, and just currency and upgrades through the roof. And what this does in the gameplay is translate to a lot more decisions that you have to make, a lot more things that are happening, and opportunities for you to really kind of like break open your build and specialize. That being said, the game is a little bit challenging at first until you get some of these things going and understand how to thrive in Sworn. So we're going to create a new game here. I've basically cleared my progress, and I'm starting from scratch just like you would, so you can play along with me and learn how to play and enjoy Sworn. I'm going to explain the controls, the UI, some tips and tricks and fundamentals, but I'm not going to, tell you the fastest path to succeed or anything like that. And one of the main things I want to do is show you that even if you're not good at this game, because I'm really not great at Sworn, I still love it, and I still really enjoy it, and you can still have fun with the game even if you're not an amazing player, because every death you're working up your meta progression and making your character stronger so that you can push through as you learn the game and figure out which build is best for you. Alright, sound good? We're going to start with the new game, and you can, of course, play this multiplayer. I'm just going to play solo.
Remember this oath. Find the Grail. Restore Camelot.
All right, so we're going to find...
The summons worked, but where are you?
I'm here.
Explore the area. Just heal your body.
So we're going to find a Grail and restore Camelot. Now, I'm going to be playing using a controller, and the game is optimized for that. I really recommend you do it. And by the way, speaking of using a controller, I'm playing on PC right now, of course, but on Steam Deck, this game is amazing too, because it's been, designed well for a controller. So we just move the left stick to move our character, and A is dash. Now, I actually don't like A being dash myself, so I immediately rebind this. And this is a great thing about the game, is that you can change your key binding. I put dash at B, just because I'm used to dash being the B button in games, and you can mess around and change the rest of this as well. I also actually, and this is just me, I don't like my light attack being the bumper. I like X being my attack and Y being my heavy attack, and then ultimate left trigger, that's fine, but my spell is going to be right trigger. There we go. And interact, I'm actually going to make A. So I completely have remapped the controls for myself just based on what I like. So you're going to have to figure out what works best for you. But I like that this is an option already, even though it's early access, so that you can just kind of get the controls for how you want it to be. All right. So what is Sworn? If you're not familiar with Hades, Sworn is an action RPG roguelike where you are going to be doing a run and you're going to go through certain chambers and you're going to have to clear out the enemies or complete whatever objective the chamber has. If you do so, you will get a reward, either a short-term reward for that run or some kind of long-term meta-progression reward. And at the end of some chambers, you will see doorways that offer choices that you get to make. So you could go one door, for example, to get more health, another door to get a Fey banner, another door to get money, and another to get a shop, and so on. And the fun comes as you make the decision on what you want, what you need, what you want to risk. Sometimes it's like this, where there's no choice, where we're just going to get a Fey banner. Now, Fey banners are like in Hades, where the gods are going to give you blessings to make your character stronger, and they will typically give you a choice of 3 different upgrades that you can get, or 4 different choices that you can get for upgrading different elements of your character. So you'll see in this little bubble at the door, it'll tell you with a graphical representation, and then if you get close enough, it'll do it textually as well. It'll tell you what you're going to get, and you're going to learn which upgrades to look for as you develop your own style. I'm going to explain my thought process for choosing each upgrade as they come up, or each door as they come up. We're going to explain all of it, actually. So now we're going to have to fight.
Steel yourself.
Okay. Got it. Oh my god. Okay, so in the upper left, it's telling you that you can press X to light attack, and of course your key bindings are going to be different based on how you have it. And then you have a heavy attack, and these are contingent upon your weapon. So with this sword, my light attack looks like that, my heavy attack is a spin, and my spell, which is right trigger, is like me throwing a dagger. Now, you see these enemies, and I'm going to slow down for a moment. These guys are throwing these kind of red glaives or blades at us, axes maybe, and all you need to do is dodge them. The game it feels urgent, and it is urgent, but one of the best tips I can give you is that there is no timer on most of these events. It'll tell you if there's a timer, but there is no timer right now. And when there's no timer, you can just go as slow as you like, recharge your spell energy or your spell points, and wait back here until you're ready to go. So don't feel rushed. Often it's best to kind of take your time and learn the enemy's attack pattern and pick them apart one by one if possible to make life easier on yourself. Now you see how if I get far enough away from the enemy, you see how at the top of the screen there's like a red blur? That's showing you that there's an enemy in that direction, but you can't even see them. So it's very, very useful for knowing where enemies are if they're off the screen. These kind of streams that are passing through, you can actually dash over this water. You can't walk over it, but you can dash over it to travel, which is super convenient. And you're going to use this all the time to your advantage to dash over traps, environmental hazards, things like that. Now, in the bottom left, you're going to see my health. I did get hit. I have 45 out of 50 hit points. And the blue bar is my spell energy. And if I use my spell, right trigger, you see I do 100 damage to that guy. You'll see the damage floating text. There's a health bar above the guy telling you how many hit points he has. And you saw that, you heard the chime, and you saw the little blue orb appear above my character with the plus, that meant my spell is recharged. Your spell just recharges over time. So like I said, if you want to go slow and just wait for your spell, you could do that. And, use this to your advantage. In the bottom right, there's going to be a counter for how much money I have. I have 6 coins. And then you see this pot that has these purple shimmeries in it. Let's break it. And we just got 5 crystal shards. This is the main currency for upgrading yourself as your meta progression. All other pots are pointless. If a pot has something good inside it, like crystal shards or food, if you get that upgrade later, you will be able to visibly see it. So you don't have to break every pot. You can if you want, but there won't be anything inside the pots unless it shows that for now. And once we complete the chamber, the music changes to tell you, hey, you're done. There's no more bad guys to fight. And this is our banner. So we just walk over to this and push A. Yep. Yes, I am. Oh, come on. That's right. I am.
What's this, my dear? Has this soul forge shown some promise?
I have.
Then consider my offer instead, child. Take my blessing, and you will wield the power of fire.
So, right now, you don't get to see what they're going to offer you, and you have to just make a choice. But as you get more knowledge in the game, you're going to be able to pick the gods and goddesses, or the Fae leaders in this game, that you're interested in working with. So, this whole mythology is Arthurian, and you're going to recognize, these Fae creatures from that space. And Oberon, the king of the Fae, the king of the fairies, or the magical people, is got the power of wind. Now, Tatiana, his wife or whatever, she has the power of fire, which normally I like fire, but I actually don't like her powers very much, but some people might, and it's up to you to decide which one you like. Hers give you typically a fire ability on one of your attacks, and it recharges every 8 seconds. And I like having something that's more consistent than that works every time, so I usually don't pick her. But it might be very strong, it might suit your playstyle or the weapon that you're using, and she might be fantastic. So you're going to have to kind of learn which are best for you. And similar to Hades, what you do with them, and I'll just take Oberon and show you. You see here we get 3 choices, and it's typically 3. And I think you can make it more than this later. Apologize if I get my numbers wrong sometimes. I'm going to be used to what I have unlocked, and I forget what it's like to have a clean slate in the game. So right now we have these 3 choices, and you're going to see that in the upper right of each of these choices there is a rarity. Usually the rarity is very important because you can break the game more in your favor by taking uncommon, rare, or legendary upgrades. However, if it's on an ability that you don't care about, then it's not worth it. But let's just talk about what these are. So Tempest Touch, for example, the first one here, gives our light attack stacks of Fury on hit, and Fury makes it so that each stack gives you a 7% damage bonus, and they kind of last for a bit. They have a time that they last, and each time you add a stack of Fury, it preserves the time limit that the Fury stacks will persist for you. So this is a good way if you have a fast weapon with a fast light attack to stack up Fury. And then Tempest Strike, the one below this, is powering up our heavy attack. And then Tempest Dash is summoning a whirlwind that follows our dash and does 15 damage. So in this game, you get a lot of power-ups that synergize with your abilities. So I can power up my light attack, my heavy attack, or my dash. There's also passive bonuses and synergistic bonuses that you can get, but these right now are just our choice. So we have to think like, well, what am I doing mostly and which would be the best for me? I am doing a lot of light attack and heavy attack, so either of these would be fine, but I'm going to go ahead and take Tempest Dash. And the reason I'm going to take Tempest Dash is because I dash all the time, and I might as well get to do some damage when I do it. I actually am not a huge fan of Tempest Touch and Strike right now, because I want some of, we'll see, but some of the gods just give you a flat damage bonus on every hit that you don't have to build up to with Fury stacks. So I prefer those myself, but again, with your weapon, your playstyle, you choose whatever you want. I'm just going to choose Tempest Dash. And you're going to see on the... You're going to see on the right side of the screen, there is a vertical ribbon that is telling us what powers we have, and we can always see these by pushing the select button and kind of going through our different powers and different items, and we could see our spell, we could see our weapon, and in the top right of this screen, you could see the currency that we've collected so far, which is just 5 crystal shards. All of these different currency types unlock different elements of the game and different power-ups for us in the place in between runs, which we'll get to as soon as we die, which will probably be soon. So now our next door that we can go to is just offering us crystal shards. So I'm going to select it and go through. Crystal shards are something that we always want for the main upgrade source of power. Now you see this red barrel in front of me. If I hit this, you'll notice that there is a big circle around it. It's kind of like an exploding barrel, and so if I hit it, it'll trigger an explosion. Oh, okay, I got hit by the trap. That's hilarious. So I was really trying to talk to you about the explosion and didn't notice the trap on the floor, but that's a good point. There's exploding barrels. You see these squares right here? These are traps, spear traps. And if you stand on them, they will wreck you. They do a ton of damage. It's kind of hard to play and talk about things at the same time, but we're doing the best that we can. And you'll see that these little enemies have very few hit points, but they do this kind of like dashing attack. And it's really, really telegraphed. Like there's an exclamation point, you see the red thing above their head, and then they jump forward. The boars that were on the screen will just charge, and if you dodge out of the way when they charge, they'll get stuck on a wall and you'll have a lot of time to hit them. The traps and the barrels work both ways. They hurt you and they hurt the enemies. So you can use these traps and these exploding barrels to your advantage to kill the enemies, which is what I was trying to do, except I ended up getting hit by a trap. And that's the nature of life. Honestly, one of the main things that you need to pick up learning early is what the traps are and how to avoid them. Your maneuvering is so important in this game. Many enemies will put red threat zones on the ground that you need to dash out of the way of or move out of the way of. And other times there'll just be a trap like this or a pressure plate or something that you want to look out for. Now, once you've cleared the room, the traps and the exploding barrels are turned off, so you can't die or hurt yourself at this state. I'm going to get these shards and we get 20. So you can...
We'll use these later to make you permanently stronger.
I hope so. So now we have a choice between a banner and some health. So the Fey Heart will improve our maximum health capacity, which we kind of actually need right now because I got hit by a trap. I'm going to tell you that I like to take health a lot because I'm bad, and so having more hit points gives me more wiggle room. But the better you get at the game, there's a great argument to make for choosing this Fey banner, even though we've taken damage, because banners will just make you stronger, which will also help you survive. So it's up to you, which path you want to take. I'm going to go for the health, just to give myself a little bit bigger of health pool. And maybe survive just a bit longer. Alright, so now they're telling us that we can lock on with the right stick. Now these enemies shoot these cannonballs out, and they're difficult because they try to get away from you, and then they threaten the ground. But if you stay away, you see how they're in the upper right, there's a guy. He can't target me this far away, so we can kind of just collect ourselves and make our plan. Notice when I dash, I am making this whirlwind that kind of stays around me and would hit somebody if there was somebody near me. I'm going to throw my spell at this dude. I'm going to dash toward him. I'm going to hit him and then just dash toward him. There we go. Let's get out of the way of this. Now, these big guys with the club, they do 1,000,000 damage, but they're slow. So just kind of make sure you stand out of the way. The enemies will usually not walk on the trap. They're like smart enough to avoid them. But you can do other things to trigger them and lure them onto them. But you'll notice how, if I want, I could just stand back and throw my spell. And my dagger actually pierces, so it goes through the first guy and hits the second guy. And these guys, like, you can just get behind them so easily. Just don't get hit, because they do a ton of damage. Alright, let's go ahead and get our power up. And it's 20 max health. It heals you, and it gives you 20 max health, and it also gives you the baseline of that too. So we're up to 52 health. And this is Fiery Ember, which is another type of currency that you're going to use to mainly unlock new characters, unlock new weapons, and new spells. Alright. Alright, so these guys are back. We fought these dudes before. They throw their axes. And we'll just kind of wait over here. You can hide behind this. And this guy is almost dead. I'm just going to give him a spin attack. Okay. There we go. And don't forget to break this for 5 shards.
We'll use this later to access armaments.
Indeed, we'll access armaments. And let's see, do we have a choice? We don't. So there's only one door, and if you look at this, it says, rewards the Scrying Stone of War. So this contains a legendary beast, which is kind of like a mini-boss. And if we defeat this mini-boss, we will get this one-time pickup of the Scrying Stone of War, which will unlock something for us to upgrade ourselves with back at base camp. So let's see what we got here. And we got this, like, big nightmare, the questing beast. So just observe the enemy and see what kind of attacks that they do. Usually, the enemies will be kind enough to... You can see my whirlwind doing work. Have some times when they are actually vulnerable. And you just kind of watch their attack pattern. Like right after he shoots that big attack, there's some vulnerability. There we go. And then this, just keep moving. Just keep moving and stay out of the red and we'll be fine. He has a kind of a big wind-up when he is going to do his fireball, and even his move right there. Oh boy, that was bad. Oh my god, that was really bad. Oh boy. And we died.
I'll see you soon.
So that boss is difficult. Now, I have to admit to you, I'm further in the game, and so I have multiple dashes with my character, and I forgot what it's like when you can only dash once. So I'm sitting here trying to just dash twice to get out of the way of some of those attacks, and I no longer have that ability. So we are looking forward to the moment when we get that ability to dash twice. We don't have it now, but we cleared 4 out of 5 chambers, and this is kind of how you make progress, is by clearing chambers. So let's go, and this is the key. I'm going to tell you the first time I booted up the game, I died on that guy, because he has a lot of hit points, and he's not messing around, and if you get hit a few times, you're dead. This bow is going to make our life a lot easier because it helps us fight from range, which is something that me personally, I like to do. And also, some of our power-ups weren't fantastic, so we'll see if we can put a better run together with this bow. And let's talk about the upgrade time.
Oh, finally. Welcome to Camelot Tower, Soulforged.
Thanks, buddy.
Your base spirit seems strong. At least strong enough to return when your human body failed.
It failed. It's Merlin.
You'll get used to it eventually. Dying, that is.
Yes, we will.
In the meantime, you'll need to grow stronger if you want to stand any chance against Arthur's forces. Go to the source and use the crystal shards you found to permanently increase your strength.
So, this is our base camp, and here, in Carmarthen Tower, you're going to see that we can, for example, unlock this bow, but we have to go to the source. This is where new spells will be, and in different areas here, we're going to just unlock more and more people and facilities to make our character stronger. But let's go to the source because this is the most straightforward. So in the source, you can see that we have this tree right here to put our crystal shards into, and we can either restore 1 health at the beginning of every chamber or start the run with more maximum health. And I'm going to tell you that, yes, we want more health. Having more hit points is phenomenal. And as we work our way toward this, we're going to go here to get that extra, what I was talking about, dash charge, which will make surviving much, much better. You can get all of these, which we probably will, in this tree, and they become progressively more expensive as you go. But let's just unlock 10 more health, hold A, spend our currency, and I'm going to give myself more health. There we go. So I'm moving up the right side of this and just giving myself a bunch of health, which is more chances to stay alive, so that we can work towards this. Now, at first I was like, okay, this is kind of cute, but as we make progress, you're going to unlock different trees where you can upgrade your maneuverability, your damage, your spell, how much money you get, and so on. So it gets much deeper, and there's more choices and more things, and it just becomes so great to really, really make your account stronger. This is a rogue light, meaning even if you die, yes, you have to start over at the beginning, but you're unlocking permanent progression for your character that just makes them stronger and stronger. So I got killed right there on that first mini-boss, and that's okay, because now I am 20 hit points stronger just from beginning.
Looking stronger already.
That's right.
I see you've also discovered a new weapon.
I did.
You should unlock it with the fairy embers you found.
And I will. And we're going to unlock this weapon for 10 embers. It's the beautifully carved bow.
Be sure to try all the weapons, spells, and vessels you discover to find what best suits you.
And this is great advice because this is the nature of the game.
This lift will take you back down to the forest floor when you're ready.
Whenever you're ready, of course you can go here to start again, but let's just...
You luck, Soulforged. Arthur has grown terribly powerful, but I truly believe that you offer Camelot hope against him.
Thanks, buddy. So, right now we only have this one character that we can be, but each of these locks are other characters. We're the vigilante at the moment, and this character alone has 4 different weapons. Experiment with every weapon, every character, to find what you like. And when you're here, you can just go ahead and practice. There's a dummy over here. You can see how much damage you do. This is our light attack with the bow. You can hold it to do a stronger attack with the light attack. And if you get perfect, you see how you do even more damage. So you can do 20 rapid fire, or you can just hold it, and if you hold it really long, 40, or if you get it perfect, then you get 60. You can also do this heavy attack, which is amazing. If you hold down Y, or your heavy attack button, you can move this around, and then you can fire this where you want, and it rains down arrows. This is such a good ability for cheesing the game a little bit early, because you can stand behind a wall and just fire this at enemies on the other side and exploit the terrain tremendously to avoid taking damage. And fighting at range in general just helps you so much from taking damage. So now we're ready to hop in and do another run and hopefully make it a little bit further, but if we don't, we'll still get currency. We can come here to the source and start making our character stronger. You can see in the bottom left, we already have 70 health. Fantastic. By the way, before we head down, it is worth mentioning that once you complete your first run and have your first death and come back to base, you're available for online play. So you kind of have to do that first. And here we go. So remember, what is our mantra? Our mantra is, the game is challenging up front. You're not very powerful. You have to learn the enemy attack patterns, how to play, what your play style is, get your account more powerful, and then everything will come easier. Remember, as you could see, I died. I'm not a fantastic player, but we can still have fun and still make good progress. I personally think that this bow is a ticket for us, and I'll show you how. So we return to the first chamber, and here is a bad guy who wants to try to fight us, and we're just going to annihilate them by exploiting the bow's range. Now, you don't have to manually aim the heavy attack. It will auto-target that for you. However, if you want to, you just hold the Y button and then move the stick around, because sometimes it'll target the wrong enemy. But in that case, this chamber always only has, I believe, 2 enemies. They're super easy. You just blitz through it, and we get to now choose. So this is our first time looking at Lou and Gogmagog, and both of these are excellent choices. I like them both for different reasons tremendously, and whenever I see them, I'm happy. So I'm going to choose Lou here, or Lug, not exactly sure how to pronounce that. And you see how this one, for example, the light attack bonus here, Lucky Touch, just gives you 25% more damage and allows you to be able to critically hit, which is insane. And this is for all of our abilities. It could be heavy attack, it could be spell. So whichever one you feel like you're going to be doing the most. Now, I'm going to boost my light attack just because I like to get something on my primary attack that I'm going to use the most as early as possible. So I'm going to choose this. These are all common, but still. Now, we're doing a ton more with this attack. Let's go get some embers and look to just get more powerful, more banners. Let's go. Remember, don't step on those traps. By the way, you'll notice there that our good buddy, even the light attack will shoot through and pierce. And you see how we're just exploiting this piece of the environment and shooting over it with our heavy attack? Remember, there's no rush. It doesn't matter. Take your time. Like, unless you're going for a speed run or you have a particular event that's timed, and some of them will be timed, like you need to kill things as fast as possible. But unless that's on the table, just take your time. Knock them down. Give yourself very little risk. All right, and we're going to earn another currency here for moonstones. Always go back through and just make sure there isn't a jar that has any shards or anything like that in there. Because as you can see, shards are just so important in giving us an advantage. All right, and somebody wants to talk to us. It's Guinevere.
Hey, it's rare these days to see a friendly face out here. These woods used to be such a lovely place. You look like one of Merlin's Soulforged. You must be fighting Arthur. Merlin and I were close once. Maybe I should pay him a visit in Incompetent. Yes, take these moonstones and come find me after you return. Perhaps we can help each other to restore Camelot.
I like how she says ... return. Like she means she'll see us when we die in our base camp, which is cool. So she gives you 5 moonstones for free. Moonstones are a very, very important currency for us to make our runs easier. And now we actually have a choice between more moonstones and some crystal. So the crystal shards are always solid. Moon shards are very important, and I'll show you why. But notice how there's a skull on this one. So this says a major foe and provides upgraded rewards. So it's a risk reward. You're going to get more if you clear this, but it's a much harder enemy. I like to try to take these skulls early on if I'm feeling good and I have a lot of health, because if I die early, so what? I just restart. But the advantage you can get from risking a lot early is great, and these major foes early in the run are just generally easier than later in the run. So I'm going to go for the major foe. And the major foe is right here. It's this big, huge boar. In these major foe rooms, they're going to keep summoning smaller enemies. So it's our job to kind of make sure that we do our job to take down the big target first, if possible. So that, there we go, and it died on the trap. And what happened there was one of the other enemies actually triggered a trap and got off of it, I think. And then while it was being triggered, the boss went on it and got crushed. So we get 10 moonstones. You see in the bottom right, it does keep track of how many you've gotten of each resource type. We have 15 moonstones, or you can always push select to just see how many resources you've gathered on a run. Now we have a choice between a random Fey banner and Tatiana. Now, you know, there's pros and cons here. If you're looking for this god and you see it, go for it. But if you don't want that, then just risk having another god being offered to you. And when you see the Fey banner, you're going to get to choose between 2. And I'm going to take the choice between 2. I don't want this. I will tell you, though, there are advantages, like certain gods or Fey entities provide you with powers that give keywords, and if you start going like heavy into one, like the giant, for example, gives you stagger, and if you start getting a lot of abilities that grant stagger, or we saw Oberon gives fury, and you start getting a lot of abilities that grant fury, take Oberon again, and there will be some passives that trigger on fury and like maximize it. So you can go heavier into one god instead of being diversified to kind of get a nice little bonus. So if, like, let's say you had some Tatiana and you saw this, you were like, oh my gosh, yes, let's go. But Titania, I keep saying that wrong. I apologize. I want to call her Tatiana for some reason. I don't know. Anyway, that's my fault. We're not on a first name basis. Alright, so you can see the jerk launching his artillery. So let's just get away from him and take out these slow guys first. And then once this guy is by himself, we can just kind of do that. Alright, just take a little scan of the room, see if there's anything else there isn't. Okay, so we can get Babbed or Cleona. Now, Babbed, I will tell you, is another one that I'm not a huge fan of just because of my playstyle. Babbed rewards you for, like, backstabbing, I believe, and that could be very, very powerful if that's your build. Honestly, with our heavy attack, if the enemy can't see us and we're, like, going from behind a pole and we do that, then it will trigger backstab, which is pretty good, but I don't rely on it. I'm mostly facing enemies and shooting my bow at them. And so I'm going to take the Mother of Banshees here. So look at this. 30% damage boost to our heavy attack or our spell. I'm going to take the heavy boost. It also inflicts weak, which makes them do less damage, which is just a nice little boost. Now, this, when you see the scales, that means there's a shop. Never take a shop if you have less than 50 coins, because if you have less than 50 coins, you can't buy anything at the shop. The shop has a healing well, which costs 50, some minor improvement opportunities that are 100, and then some more expensive ones that are blessings from gods that are 200. So unless you have a bunch of money, don't take this because you're wasting a chamber. You won't have to fight any enemies, which is nice, but you also won't have any possibility of powering up, which is not good. This is a harder enemy. It's a major foe, but we're going to get a bunch of money which we can use later, so let's take it. Oh, look at this. And you get the opportunity to just find something like that. So this guy does the normal hammer technique, but he also... Oh, I didn't. I was not looking and I got shot. His attack also goes a long way, so you can't stand out of his range slightly. You really have to... Oh boy. Okay, so the reason I got hit right there, which is funny, kind of, is because, again, I'm used to having different abilities. So, with my more advanced characters, I can cast spells more than once. And so I tried to cast my spell to kill that guy, but I forgot I only have 1 bar of spell energy right now. It's okay. 150 coins. We only got hit for 10, so we're only down 10, no problem. Now, we can get more health, or we can get a Mab Blessing. So I'm actually going to take the Blessing, and here's my thought process. Before, I needed health because I was further... I was more injured, and I just wanted to show you what it did. But I did express that this is probably better overall for the longer game, because if you look at the right, you see I have my light attack and my heavy attack with some kind of blessing associated, but that's it. I need to fill that up. I want as many of these as possible. My health is decent. We already gave ourselves plus 20 more health. So I'm going to take a blessing. I want to power up my spell. Maybe my dash, among other things. You'll notice how when I crit, I just do so much damage. And here we go. Our spell inflicts venom, so it's like a damage over time poison attack. Killing an enemy increases your maximum health up to a cap. So what they're saying is that every time we kill an enemy, we get maximum health. So this is actually really good, because the chamber would have given us 20. If we kill enough enemies, this is 30. Very nice. Our dash inflicts infected, which means we get to spawn a spiderling. All very, very good, but you'll notice how this ability, Venomous Flourish, is rare. So you see the text of the word will be in green if it's uncommon, blue if it's rare, purple if epic, orange if legendary, etc. And rare means it's a stronger version. It's like the same effect, or the same baseline effect, but then it's been amplified. So we're getting to deal extra damage. So this is already good, but it's even stronger. I'm going to take this, and now we have all of our primary attack methods powered up, and we're ready for the mini-boss that we died on. Let's see if we can do a better job this time. So because our spell inflicts venom, we want to use it as soon as possible. Every time that we can, we want to use it. Now you see these laser beams? You need to dash through these so that we don't get hit. Ah, darn. Targeted the wrong guy there. Oh boy. Oh no. I'm gonna get that second dash soon enough. And my life will be better. There we go. So, if you dash those lasers that rotate around when you only have one dash charge and you do it too early, you're basically out of luck unless you can outrun them. So we were able to win. We got down to 29 health, but that's okay. And we're going to pick up the Scrying Stone of War. And we can go unlock a new skill tree for powering up our character. And here we get the Sword and the Stone. And this is kind of like Hephaestus in Hades, which he allows you, or the Sword and the Stone rather, it allows you to change some element of how your attacks operate. And it's usually very good. You get 3 choices. Here we go. Take this. Get those shards for free. Okay. And just going to kind of give this guy a treat. Easy. So, you see how our light attack is slower but does more damage. Our light attack fires 3 arrows in the spread but does less damage. Or our light attack charges 80% faster. And this is the one I want. I want my light attack to charge faster so I can move out of the way a little bit more. So this will give us the opportunity to kind of fire and move. Now, of these choices, now you'll see that there is an event with an opportunity to earn bonus rewards. So this will be something where you're perhaps timed, and the better you do, you will get bonus rewards, or it'll be like survive for 45 seconds, and then if you kill an enemy, you get an ember or something like that. And these are fun, but I'm just going to go with some health. I'll take a little bit of health right now, sure. Give me some hit points. I'm looking for a shop so I can spend some of this money. I'd like to have more if possible, but, you know, we'll get there. $20 more hit points. Excellent. This is a darn bummer of a choice. So the Horn of Strength will let you choose one of your powers and make it stronger, which is fine. But usually I like to fill in all my powers first before I start powering up one. Because a lot of the times the changes aren't that monumental unless you have a really, really good power of a high rarity. There's a guy somewhere. Alright. So in this case, we can make our venom stronger, damage stronger here. I'll just take more damage on my lucky touch. Now, when you're making this choice, this is where you start to try to combo what you have. And remember that we took an ability that basically gives us 80% faster charge. the sword and the stone on our light attack, and we do a lot of light attack, so let's benefit our light attack because we use it a ton. You kind of want to lean into your strengths and just look for any little bit of an edge you can get with these choices that you're making. But also, play to your own strengths. Like, if there's something that's just sounds like it would be perfect for your playstyle or what you're good at, then go for that. Don't just take what I'm taking, because you might find my playstyle to be completely opposite to your own, and that's fine. One of the cool things about this game is there's many ways to win. You know, you can choose your own build and your own blessings that you prefer. We got 5 moonstones right there. I could take health, or I could take another horn. Of these two, I'm going to take health because I don't want another horn, and more health might give me 1 or 2 more hits that I can survive against a boss, which might be all the difference that I need at this point. You see how he one-shot that guy? Alright. So, you'll start to understand the rhythm of what's going on, but at this point, we've got to be getting close to a boss. And when I feel like I'm getting close to a boss, and you could count the chambers to know for sure, but when you're getting close, take a shot, because it'll give you the opportunity to heal so that you're ready. That healing right now, even a little bit, is more important to me than the horn. So I'm going to come into the shop, and I'm going to see what they've got. So, this is actually 50. So sometimes these can be 50 or 100, and these are always 200. We can't afford these, but we can heal 25 for 50, which I will. I'm going to heal and probably buy this. 10 moonstones is so many. I'm going to buy the moonstones. I could heal again, but it's too much. Now, I could buy the horn and make myself stronger. We are going to fight the boss. This icon with the Grail Water, it tells you it has a Knight of the Round Table and Grail Water. So we're going to fight a boss. So you could buy this to make yourself stronger against a boss. But a lot of the time, especially early game, I buy these meta progression currencies because they give you a lot of them for pretty cheap. 10 moonstones is a lot. Sometimes when you clear a chamber, you only get 5. And so just for 50 coins, I can get 10. Which is going to help us overall as we progress. So I'll take it, and then we're going to go fight the boss. Okay. Alright, so this boss... Okay, that's a very... He does that ring attack, which you can jump through, and then he does this spinning whirlwind attack, which we need to stay away from him. He shoots that red ball in front of him. Just jump toward him. Dodge that, dodge this. He's going to start... There we go, doing this ability, which summons these things that, like, kind of... explore the ground. When you see him start to cock back his axe like that, move away so you don't get hit. Watch out for his shot. He's going to begin summoning his buddies. This is... Oh, yeah. That was awful on my part. Just kind of stay away. Try to dodge away. Run away. Ouch. That was awful. Alright, the green things, don't stand on them like I did. as you can see, I pretty much ignore all enemies that aren't him, or I try to. Huh. I really thought I was not going to get hit by that. Oh no! Woo, we got him. So I had 9 health left. So this is why, at least for me personally, I choose hearts a lot to give me staying power. I want to go to the shop. I want to heal up as much as possible. I'm going to be honest with you. I did not beat that boss the first time I got there. Okay, so I only was able to barely survive against that boss because I had experience and I knew what the attacks were. Even then, you saw me getting hit, making bad decisions, bad playing, abound. But we won. And when you win, you get some Grail water, which we'll take, and the run keeps going. So we're going to go here, and we get a fountain to heal from. We're not going to go very far, but beating the bosses is important for just unlocking more opportunities for meta progression. Now we heal 30 from the fountain, and there's this lady over here, Nemu.
You are the Soul Forge. Yes.
Yes.
I've seen you many times now in the Wirral, swinging those shiny weapons of yours about with reckless abandon. As much as I loathe Merlin, he's not the only one who believes that Arthur must fall. The Grail water you retrieved from that night, it holds great power.
Okay.
I wouldn't recommend drinking it, lest you end up like him. Bring it back to Camelot.
So we will.
I will meet you there. We can use any more Grail water you find to strengthen your weapons.
So the Grail water you can use, as she says, to power up weapons that you like to make your time easier. So we can go for Fairy Embers, or we can go for Crystal Shards. Fairy Embers are good for unlocking new characters, new weapons, new spells, and Shards for just unlocking some more baseline progression for our account. I'm going to take Shards at the moment. I don't think we're going to survive for a super long time here. You're going to notice when you get to Act 2, the enemies start to have a lot more hit points. But just survive as long as you can, obviously. So these guys some of them do a jumping dash, like attack forward. Others of them have a spin, and I will just tell you that these green mushrooms, if you hit them, they release like a, toxic cloud that hurts you and the enemies. These guys who spin, they always surprise me with how stout they are. They are hard to kill. So sometimes you'll be seeing them spinning at you and you think, oh, I can just take them down, and then they don't die. So just know these things have a lot of hit points. I don't know. I like the bow. I like being cheesy with the bow and just standing far away, using the range to my advantage, use my heavy attack and my spell, and just rain down upon them. Now, in this case, I actually am going to take Titania because although Mab is awesome, I don't want to fight a skull. I don't want to fight a major foe right now. I'm really low on health. I'd like to just see if I can survive for a few chambers. You are rewarded based on how many chambers you can progress with a character, so even just an extra chamber might be important for us. I'm going nice and slow. See, that enemy actually triggered that mushroom on his own and killed him and his buddy doing it. Okay, so burning dodge, dying spark or eruption. So burning dodge says every 6 seconds our dash will cause us to immolate, which means we catch on fire and hurt everything around us. Not bad, but we're playing at range, so it's not great. You know, if your health is 35% or lower, you're going to do 25% more damage. That's kind of where we're at. Explode and damage all enemies are near you when you take damage. I like this too. We don't have a lot of damage to take, but it will kill everything around us probably. I am going to go with burning dodge, though. I just like to have something on my dash. You can get powers for your dash. You can get companions later. And these little kind of like passive sources of damage really start to add up. You notice in the bottom center of the screen there's a flaming icon. I'll show you. I'll dash. And you see how then there's the immolation. There's the range of it. And then the cooldown is showing right there. Now, I'm going to take the health because it's an easier enemy. These guys summon these red balls, which are super annoying. These orbs, they will track you. I got hit right there. I'm surprised by that, but not really. The game starts to just get so much harder at this point. Yeah, I got hit again. Oof. I thought I was okay right there. Going to wait for my spell to recharge. These guys, they have so many hit points. They cast this really annoying spell that tracks you, and they have a ton of health. We did survive. We got back to the health that we started with, which is not ideal, but what can you do? Now it's a shop, and we're probably going up against a mini-boss. I'll take the shop and see what they got. I have 100, so I could buy something that's 100 or 250s if those are available. We'll see. Oh, this is perfect. So we're going to heal, and we're going to buy... Look at this. They give you 40 shards for 50. It's just so much. Now, later, the shards are going to be less important, and that won't be very good. But early in the game, it's quite nice. And do I want more money, or do I want to go for a horn? I'll take the money and the easier path. Just stay away. Once that guy starts spinning, just run away. As you can see, because of my playstyle, the immolate is pretty pointless. I should have probably taken explode, but what can you do? It might pay... Oh, God. It might pay off. Sometimes, I mean, that was just me misgauging how far that guy's reach would be. I'll take the 100 coins, sure. Are there any purples? No. And now it's mini-boss time. So it's this Scrying Stone of Wealth will unlock another skill tree for us to use at the source. If we can unlock it. I don't anticipate that we will. We don't have any resurrections. We don't have very much health. And our account isn't super strong. This guy is really hard. Because, as you can see... he does annoying abilities, and he throws these things which you have to kind of keep track of, and then he dashes around. This is a tough fight. With only one dash, we haven't really even gotten to power up our account yet. We don't have that many dashes. We only have one spell bar. It's just really rough for us. Ouch, that was so bad. It was pretty much inevitable. I mean, like, if you were a really good player, you could have taken it down right there, but that's a very hard boss. However, look at all the unlocks. We got 80 shards, 10 water, 10 ember, and 30 moonstones. And you see all of the chambers that we've cleared. We get Blade Rush. This is a new spell. We've unlocked a new character, the monk. The monk can use a bow staff. And you can look at your, progress, what you did, how much money, etc. I'm just going to go ahead and cancel this and go back to the source. And look at that. Nemiu's over there blacksmithing away. Did it lock up? Uh-oh. It feels like it may have locked up, which would be unfortunate. I don't know if it's going to preserve our progress or not. Gosh, I hope so. Let me, I guess, go to the main menu and see if I can come back and where am I? Where am I? What happened? Okay, phew. Alright. So if that happens to you, just go to the main menu and then come back in and it will reload where you're at. So she wants the Grail Water.
I see you've acquired a scrying stone.
I did.
You can use it at the source to unlock new avenues of growth.
Hail, Soulforged. Come see me and we can get to work.
So we unlocked a bunch because we beat the boss, but you might just do it like I did in my Let's Play of this, much more slowly, much more gradually as you get better at the game. So you can unlock the monk for 20 embers, which we don't have. You can, oh, I'm sorry, the bow staff is a vigilante weapon. The monk gets a different weapon to unlock. Nemiu here wants this.
Let's see about that weapon.
So you can go into any weapon and you could start upgrading it with your Grail Water, which you'll get every time you beat Knights of the Round Table. And for 5 Grail Water, I can make my light attack with the bow do 5% more damage if I get a perfect shot, which I'll do that, sure. I like using the bow. And then here you could see you could fire your heavy more, and then you can even customize these abilities. You can flip them over. There's a choice on each side of these specials based on what you want to do with the bow. So really cool system of just upgrading the weapon itself, and you can upgrade all the weapons that you unlock. Here's a new spell, Blade Rush, that we can unlock for 20 Ember. Here is Guinevere.
Let's get to work, Soulforged.
Let's get to work.
Camelot has strayed far from the glory of its past.
Okay. So, this is what I mean by moonstones and why I took them so often. The bounty board is insane. Ultimate blessings, insane. And secret shops are pretty good too. Companions are also fantastic. You're going to want all of these until, some of the more expensive ones are not as important. But let's just right away get the bounty board, get ultimate blessings, and go ahead and get trials of combat. The bounty board is right down here, and you come to it, and whenever you see any of your bounties, these are like achievements basically. Whenever any of these are flashing, just select them, and then look at this. This is 5 Grail Water, 20 Ember, 40 Ember. So I didn't have enough Ember before to unlock the monk, but now I do, and I will. we go. A lot of the content in the game is based around getting to a certain point and clearing chambers with the different characters. I'm going to go back to actually being the vigilante, though, because I just powered up the bow. I'm feeling good about it. And I'm going to go to the source. And now you see we've unlocked the war tree. And I'm going to show you this. In war, right here, this is where you get an extra charge for your spells. So this is so important for helping you stay alive, because spells do a ton of damage, and if you can fire 2 of them, your damage output just goes up. You could take enemies down faster. It's fantastic. These also just boost your spells. You could boost your movement speed. Amazing stuff here, but we need to buy this vitality for 10 more health, and then we can just afford exactly 1 more dash charge, which I love. Then look at this. Resurrection token. 1 time during a run, you automatically revive when you fall to 0 health. There's another resurrection token here, and then there's a third one all the way around up here. So this tree is so good for giving you more hit points and giving you resurrection. It'll make you last much, much longer when you can revive. It's fantastic. So now, we've unlocked a new character. We have upgraded our bow. We have 2 dashes in a row, which is so good for moving out of the way. And we're rocking and rolling. I think this is a good place to stop our first episode of this guide series. This is going to be a guide series because we're going to keep playing, keep trying new things, unlocking more content, and showing you what's going on in this game so you can dive in and enjoy it and play it the way you want. I hope you have found this to be useful and fun. If you have any questions about the game, please post those in the comments below. I'd love to help you out. And if you have been playing Sworn a bunch and you are a Sworn veteran and you'd like to share your own tips and advice for new players in the comments below, that'd be fantastic. Just make sure you do so in a way that's not too in the weeds or overwhelming for somebody who's never played, and maybe even somebody who's never played a game like this before. I'd appreciate that so much. Okay, everybody, thanks for watching. Take care.